think the stock market is worried that Congress will change and will overturn these pro-growth policies. I really believe that. I think that the so-called correction, and I've said before, as you know, these things come and go, that correction has to overcome the uncertainty about this election.
All right, that's bogus. And we love and admire Larry Kudlow, the top economic advisor. This is built on trade concerns, built on the impact that the higher tariffs on steel, aluminum, is already impacting the bottom line. Not only the automakers who telegraphed this weeks ago, but the latest Caterpillar, a host of others, 3M, saying it works into their guidance, which is a little more nervous. Let's go to Charlie Gasparino on all of that. What'd you make of it? It's all the midterm.
Larry's my friend. I went to his birthday party. I love the guy. A disciple of Larry Kudlow, except for on this narrow issue. I mean, let's just posit that if what would make the markets scared, okay, about the Democrats taking the House and the Republicans taking the Senate, you can't reverse anything. I mean, as the polls stand now, the Republicans are likely to pick up a seat in the Senate. The Democrats may pick up the House. We don't know yet. It's tightened up. And yet, that's gridlock, and nothing will get done, which is kind of like what markets generally like. So he fails on the most common sense levels. And listen, I know Larry's...
I think it's part of a pattern, and I understand, to just, blame anything but yourself for what's going on. They've been married to the markets, and they go up. You similarly have to own them when they go down, even if it's a brief trip down. But that's the box you put.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a market guy now. He's not a market commentator. He's now a politician, and so Larry has got to spin a yarn. But this fails on real common sense
levels. 2 weeks ago, the president was the Federal Reserve and higher interest rates.
I mean, he's right about that.
That's a very legitimate concern. Yeah. But what is your sense about what's happening today and what's driving and rattling folks? What do you think?
I don't hear the Dems taking over stuff. I mean, let's just say the Republicans lost the House and the Senate. I guess
that would be beyond the consensus view. So that would probably lead to further.
I mean, maybe, but he would do what Obama did, which is veto any Republican, whatever Congress.
And he'd have the numbers to back him.
Theoretically, they could impeach him easier then, and the Senate could convict him. But remember, you need 2/3 of the Senate, right? You can't just. It's not just by one.
And by the way, you're working on the assumption they take the Senate as well. I'm not even sure they take the House.
No. I know. I'm just saying that.
Play that out for me. I was doing with some earlier guests. If the Republicans manage to keep the House and the Senate,
I think the market will go up.
Yeah.
I think then you got a legitimate chance for another tax cut, and we'll see. I mean, the last one, see if the last one is working out as well as it
Well, let me
should
ask
be.
you a little real quick, the Saudi thing right now. It's interesting that today they announced this $50 billion deal on infrastructure, oil, and gas with a lot of the players, their number 2s or 3s, who are still there for this conference.
Yeah, as we reported, and everybody caught up to us, everybody's sending people there. They're number 2, like Goldman Sachs.
And now we know why, because some of them have to sign those checks, and they're big checks. And I'm wondering whether that's part of the administration's thinking. Don't be careful, bowing out of everything with the Saudis, no matter what we're finding on Khashoggi's death, because you lose being part of this.
It's a really tough spot if you're this administration. You are in the whole Middle East power structure. You are now siding with the Saudis. They have a ton of cash, as opposed to the Iranians. That's what the Obama administration was kissing up to the Iranians as a check on the Saudis. They have a ton of cash. They got a ton of problems. And here's the sort of intangible thing, is how much do the Turks know about how Khashoggi was actually killed? And that could really drive foreign policy. I mean, listen.
Well, the CIA director will be meeting with President Erdogan, and then apparently he's going to reveal even more things. But I find that
suppose we have tapes of him being tortured.
Right. And would that change these deals? I suspect even really.
It would. I think you'd have a movement in Congress to do something dramatic. I think if it looks like, listen, him being killed is bad enough, but if there's real hard evidence,
and if it's unmistakably tied to the royal
family, and unmistakably tied, which it kind of is already.
So this latest deal, the $50 billion deal, could fall apart.
Listen, there's all clauses in these things, and can these revelations, I guess. The bigger issue I have, can they do enough to unsettle the royal family where they replace the letters that you hate? Was it MBS.
Oh my God! You make it sound like a Mercedes
MBS,
model.
yeah.
He has 12 brothers, the Crown Prince.
Mohammed
so any one
bin
of those,
Salman.
He could be replaced with any one of those brothers, but it's not as if he's going to be going to a jail.
I mean, no, and but who you replace with? Fredo? I mean, if you were to, I mean, do we get Michael or do we get Fredo? I mean, I don't know.
We don't know. All right.